though in the county.
With tourism, what is there for people to do coming through here? I mean, because we're trying to promote tourism for each county as well.
Well, with the number of internationally known horse farms, it is a way of showing the general public how this way of life is actually all about, and how the horses are raised, and how a real horse farm operates. Also, with the number of our historic landmarks here in Woodford County, it gives the tourist an idea of what colonial Kentucky was all about. This is the first courthouse, built in 1790, and this is the one that was built out of Buckeye logs. This is the stone courthouse, which was the second courthouse, built in 1794. This courthouse was the reconstruction of the 1880 courthouse. The original courthouse was the 1813 courthouse, and they built onto the front of it in a Victorian style. This courthouse is the same view, but from the side. The lower shots I can't hold it. The lower shots here are of the courthouse with the relationship to the rest of the block. At one time we had an Odd Fellows Hall built on Courthouse Square. Here we have a general view of downtown Versailles with the courthouse showing predominantly over the buildings.
This gentleman is the Woodford County Sheriff, and I'm going to ask him to introduce himself.
Lauren Carl, C-A-R-L is my last name.
What was the name I heard inside?
My nickname's Squirrel.
Okay. What can you tell? One of the things we're asking elected officials is why they get into public office. Why do they want to be a public servant? Why did you want to be a sheriff?
Well, that's a very good question and a hard one sometimes to answer. Really, I serve the people and like to serve the people and meet people each day. And in the sheriff's business, I was a policeman before that and a deputy sheriff. The challenge of something being different each day, no matter not knowing each day what it's going to be, and something different. And I get a feeling of accomplishment, even though we don't get a lot of thank yous in our job. I get a feeling of accomplishment when we solve something or return somebody's stolen property or help somebody that's had a catastrophe or been raped or whatever it might be. So I really get a sense of self-satisfaction by helping the people and being there if they need me. I'm in the JCs, and we have a party each year for the underprivileged children, and Woodford County is very fortunate in the respect that we have the lowest unemployment in the state of Kentucky, and that is good. The only thing that I would like to see or possibly change is help the indigent more, the poor people, the people that are having a tough time, that either don't have the education or don't have the qualifications to get a job, and if we could give them more help to get the jobs, not so much to help them, you know, not them help themselves, but the fact that we could let them train them or put them in a technical type of skill where they could go to work and show them what to do and let them learn from there.
For 50 years I've been telling jokes on Mama Chandler, and she said her special love to you and each one of you. We've been married 63 years, and I keep saying that's a great tribute to my patients. I heard on a certain occasion she'd been outspoken, and I wanted to know by whom. And then as I traveled about the state police, Swapper and all the rest of them called her Mama Chandler. And she adorned the place for 8 years. And I said, well, I haven't spoken to her for 2 weeks. She said, what's the matter? I said, I hadn't wanted to interrupt her. All of us owe an obligation to make a maximum contribution to our time and generation. We ought to try that. And as we go forward together, trying as best we can to make a maximum contribution to our time and generation. May the Spirit of God be with us all. Thank you. Good afternoon.
longtime State Senator Wayne Freeman and Fox DeMoisey, who drives Governor Chandler across Kentucky, have both said that the first time Governor Chandler spoke here at the Fancy Farm Picnic was 1931, when he ran for Lieutenant Governor of Kentucky. So we're so glad you're here. God bless you, Governor Chandler, and we're looking forward to seeing you next year.
And we've talked today about education and about jobs, and I want very specifically and very quickly to tell you that there's nothing more important in this Commonwealth than saving the family farm. There's nothing more important than working with the farm economy. And there are thousands and thousands of jobs that are in jeopardy here today. And I want you to know that Butch Burnett is so qualified and so dedicated to working on that issue, and Wallace Wilkinson is qualified and dedicated to working on that issue, and we're going to work together. And make no mistake about it, there is going to be no way to outwork or outperform this team. And together, as a team, we're going to make the right things happen, and we're going to solve the problems, and all of us together are going to do the things that need to be done. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much.
One of the other places where we've talked a great deal about natural beauty in Kentucky, obviously Kentucky is a rare place for various types of architecture in the 19th century. And I think one of the most beautiful examples of 19th century architecture is found at Pleasant Hill, Kentucky, with the restoration of the very, very marvelous Shaker village that was there and now has been restored. They have restored 3 huge family houses. The Shakers came into Kentucky in the early 19th century, and there were 2 in Kentucky. There was one further south, but the one at Pleasant Hill was by far the biggest. It's one of the most marvelous restorations I've seen. If you go there, you now can stay in the various family houses. They are now, of course, all modern inside as far as the accommodation is concerned. The food is absolutely sensational. And although the man his name escapes me right now, they had a genius there of an architect who designed most of these buildings. And if you go into the trustee's house, for instance, there's a double stairway that goes right on up. Of course, the men were on one side of the building and the women were on the other, and therefore they had separate stairways in all the buildings and kept them there. But at the trustee house, they have 3 stories of stairs going right on up all the way to the top with the most beautiful cherry banister you probably will ever see. The workmanship is absolutely phenomenal, and I would suggest that anybody who wanted to see a part of the beauty of 19th century America and the maybe odd but really very talented people the Shakers were, there's no better place to learn about it than Pleasant Hill, Kentucky, and it isn't all that far, of course, from Lexington.
I would like to say